Rollo's book is a perfect example. We see so many women run Rollo's timeline, which is basically 18 to 28 are the party years. At 29, they're showing back up to church, want to talk to guys like us. And then after they ran through like a dozen guys. And so that I'd say that's...
A dozen's a light number.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't...
Let's be real.
Yeah, so that I would say that is probably one of the more frustrating like things to wrap, like even just stomach it. Like I don't even know the correct answer to it either. Because I understand like there's plenty of guys that kind of do the same thing too. Because I've talked with girls who have like maintained their virginity, and their complaint to me was, guys now just view me as like I'm gonna go run through a bunch of girls in my 20s and wife the virgin. And so there's both sides of this going on. So it's
and again, back to my point. Wait till you're 35 to 40. That's my opinion. Because I don't think men have the resources. I mean, over 10,000 people were interviewed by Dr. David Buss. I don't know if you read his book, Evolution of Desire. He's a clinical psychologist out of Austin, Texas, right? University. And he talks about all these cultures, backgrounds, religions. Overwhelmingly, women look for resources to make sure that their children and their
it's not
survival.
a bad thing in and of itself.
And so what happens as a young man, we come out the gate, we have no value, and we try to resources, not to focus on money like you said, but it's like once you have that house built on concrete, not bamboo. Your faith is strong in your case, or whatever the case may be. Now you have the resources to say, okay, I can take on a wife, I can have children, she can be a homemaker as an option.
I would 100% agree with that strategy too. We tell some of the guys in our group too, like they're 22 and they're like, wanting to go after the girls. I'm like, dude, just focus on building yourself now. Like, don't put so much effort into that because it's going to.
It's a lot of work, and they just want to have sex.
So I'm gonna give. I've never said this on a podcast. Here's the cheat code. You ready? Don't date in an A market city. Big cities.
Tampa, San Fran.
This is a B market. A market: Seattle, San Francisco, LA, New York, Atlanta, Chicago. No go. Too many outside influences. B market is a no go. It's got to be a C market.
Yeah.
And let me give you an example.
Kansas.
With or without Christ, because you're going to lead, right? You're gonna influence that person in a positive light. It's not control. It's not manipulation.
Right.
But if you go now, I always talk about this, and people are probably tired of hearing this. My girlfriend's from Tucson. I call it Tucson. It's an hour north of the border. They're so sheltered from the outside influences of society, outside of Instagram and Facebook, that they see that in TikTok. But they live in a small town.
That's where I grew up, small town Midwest America.
Okay.
So I've seen that.
That's where you find Mrs. Right.
Yep.
Because she has not been indoctrinated into a false narrative, ideology, life itself, and influenced by association, because you're the best of the five people around you. You guys are successful because of the three of you stick close together. Anybody that comes into your inner circle, you don't want to be tainted, right? If I come in and start talking about, we should talk about Lucifer and worship him once a day, you're like, dude, get out. We don't want to be inflicted with that. So the point is when you go to the 25, 26-year-old, however old, right? And then it's like, yeah, maybe 3 guys, 6 guys, okay. And she believes in God, but she's not actively involved in the church. Her mom raised her to be a good wife. Her dad said, take care of your husband. That's the winner.
You can definitely.
So the guys that they're on dating, I said, don't be on a dating app.
Yeah, in like New York City, like what are you going to find there?
Okay, now I hope everybody's listening. Here's the cheat code. Instagram, hashtag the towns, the small towns like I did, and it was like Tucson. And
You did that?
This is it. This is the gem. I was because I was on these dating apps, right? And I'd see a woman with a face. Next picture would be a face. Next picture would be a face. And I'm like, okay, what's this look like? And then I'd read the I have 10 cats and box wine, and you can't work out. I don't like the gym. And, and I'm all about the spirit world and the zodiac signs. And I'm like,
Brutal.
And then
Red flags.
And then it was like, do I take a photo with my shirt off, show my abs? At the time I had abs. Or do I, just talk about, and you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So I hashtag the small town. And then women, I start going through, and I was like, Tucson. I saw little restaurants in Tucson. I saw all the Latinas were hot to a point. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then it was like, oh, I found, fitness food. This girl was meal prepping. And I saw her Instagram, about 3 weeks old. I saw one guy is like, oh, I think that's her brother, right? I'm doing my diagnostic check, right? and she works out, but she's not doing the TikTok and the booty out and
doing it for herself,
spanking her ass. And I'm like, so I just liked her food pic. And then she liked mine, and then we start following each other. So this went on for a while. 45 days later, after we've already talked, we built this relationship. Then I flew her up, didn't have sex with her, right? Because this is the thing.
I agree. It's good.
Friendship first, relationship second. Here's what happens inherently with men. If I tell the guys this, if you have sex with a woman right away, all of a sudden you're not interested. You didn't have any bond. Now, if you date for purpose, there's guys that don't date for purpose. They just want to have fun. That's their deal. But if I'm older, I was at a point like I'm done. I'm done with, the pole and the thing and the, whatever, the girls and the.
There's intention behind what you're doing.
So I knew myself because I'd been with women and I really liked them. I said, why am I not interested? Because there was no bond. Women generally won't sleep with a guy unless there's an emotional connection. Guys are actually the same to a point. Oh, yeah. So the second time she came up, yeah, okay, right? But she ended up leaving her career, flying to Seattle, and then we actually moved down here. Wow. But she's from Tucson. She didn't know what six figures meant. She's been on a plane one time, and she's 26 years old. Nobody leaves Tucson. You don't move there. You move away from it, right?
Yep.
And so Tulsa, wherever you said the small town.
Yeah, I'm from small town Minnesota.
Okay, so you think about the girls in the small towns, and here's a funny thing. I say date a 6, cute, 5's average, and a 6. And as she progressed in life with me, she went to a 7 and an 8.
Kylie
things
Jenner,
changed,
bro.
right? But not too far gone, like cheeks and all that. She got her teeth, veneers. She competes, athletic. But the point is, if I would have started in one of the big cities, there's a term called alpha widowed. Have you heard this?
Yep.
She's been with a guy like me that was making $500,000 a year, and she's done it all. If I dated a girl that was with Andrew Tate, I can't compete with that. Mm-hmm. I can't give her that lifestyle. I'm a humble peasant, right? With my sheep, right? And so what happens is this woman's eyes get open to a whole new world. We're going to Las Vegas? I've never been on a plane. But you're guiding her. You're leading her.
It's good.
You're in her. She's in your care. Yeah. So that's why I always tell guys, man, if you're dating for purpose, if you're just dating to have fun and party.
I mean, you did have resources because, like, she's obviously, you have the location and everything.
Yeah, but $46,000 is the average income for men in America, right? $100,000 a year, $112,000 a year, the top 13% income. But $100K in an A market, you can't survive.
Yeah.
I don't know how Sarasota is. I don't know if it's a B or C market. Probably a B.
Probably C.
C. Okay. Yeah. So $100,000 there, you're doing really well.